Guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and we're going to be going through a bunch of updates with this account, kind of showing you the progression of where we're at and also looking at a few of the events we have going on right now. Now within the events tab, we know we do have a way to get a lot of diamonds in here with the new beast that is right here in the Chasing Shadows. Now this, we've been kind of going through regular gameplay, and as you can see, we're going to get a couple copies of the beast, so I want to discuss that a little bit, as well as a few summons. Now a lot of players are saying save these summons in the entirety when it comes to these wish leaves. Overall, looking at the beast, level 21 is a decent upgrade, but 27 is really where you want to get it to for the little bit of a better upgrade. 24, of course, we do have the cursed realm in there, but we'll look at that in just a minute. So let's go ahead and collect all of these in the entirety and get all of the copies and all of the baits. Now, for me personally, we were sitting on roughly about 8 to 10,000 baits. So not a lot to do in there. And then we're also sitting on about 84, which with this 10,000 we see right up here, pretty good return on here. Getting those 10,000 diamonds will give us almost 100,000 diamonds that we do have in here as we collect up all these. This is not including everything else that it's feeding us, all of the resources to gain some more levels. And it gave us rare stones. Not quite sure why we didn't get some elite stones in here, but you can see that the overall loot in here, kind of basic, short of getting the beast itself. And honestly, any player that is not at beast resonance 18 right now, getting 800 beasts out of this event is an absolute game changer, because that is going to be a lot of summons that you can get independently with those. And they are also giving you the 3 solid copies right there of the awakened beast itself. And then we can collect this chest. Boom, 10,000 diamonds. Absolutely love to see that. That brings us up to 91,000 right there. Now, Vault of Time, and a lot of players were kind of asking, where's the update with the Vault of Time? Where exactly are we? We're already into, I believe, the second life or the third life of the Abyssal Expedition. We knew coming in here this was going to be kind of a race. Looking where we're at right now, I'm just north of 1,000,000 power in here. Third feat, we have the second boss is dead. Third boss will be up shortly. Kill that one out pretty quick, and then, of course, go for 4 and 5. Now, we're just saving resources right now like a lot of players should be. A lot of the whales can take down some of the bosses super quick. You can have, 3, 4, possibly even 5 players that are whale capacity, just burning down the boss very quick. Now, Temporal Rift, I haven't jumped in here yet, but I think we're at about floor 160. Again, a lot of players kind of asking what was going on with this. And we know there is also the Golden Frontier will be putting up. Yeah, we're at 160. I think that's where we stopped last time. We have to build out and put the rest of our teams in here, continue our progression in here. Now, overall, if you're a newer player to AFK Arena, even if you're a veteran player, getting all of the rewards out of here are just absolutely 100% imperative to get, especially thinking right here, getting those Stargazer scrolls, knowing the next hero that is going to be released is going to be a Celestial hero. Absolutely makes a big game changer. Once we hit floor 200, we'll pick up another 20 cards out of here. You have to get these. And honestly, when you look at the heroes that are available, even looking at the Draconic hero like Kildwin, which you can get out of the guild shop, looking at Eugene, which you can get out of the guild shop, I wouldn't buy anyone in here. I really wouldn't get anyone out of here. I would get it through the guild coins in the guild shop itself. Once you do build them to 5 stars, they completely vanish. But I feel like getting some more of the resources, getting those time emblems, those Stargazer scrolls are going to be a lot more prevalent, because you can actually summon for the awakened heroes like Envy that are just absolutely broken in a multitude of game modes. Absolutely want to focus on the tier list and making sure you're really getting the best heroes that we have within AFK Arena. Now, like we were talking about a little bit with the beast, because again, these are questions I'm getting every single day. Sitting at almost 10,000 baits, we do have 40 of our wishing leaves right here. But looking at breaking this beast down, so looking at the level 21 beast, like I said, in here and increasing the damage reduction does make a little bit of difference. 27 does increase it a little bit, but as it's sitting right now, these are the skills, and 24 is the big one. When you look at the ability in the Nightmare Corridor, increase the damage and health loss of all ally units inflicted. Each stack of Melancholy Kelly further reduces the damage resistance of all enemy units. This is important because when you look at the Nightmare Corridor, it is a very quick battle, like 7 to 15 seconds. This beast comes out of the gate with the ability to actually provide this damage resistance on all the enemy units, meaning the damage is going sky high. That's why when you look at the larger players or the whale players, they are building this out specifically trying to get to that 24. Now, when it looks at the level 30, the curse realm, not really seeing a big driving force within the curse realm, but the Nightmare Corridor has been the big one. Now, as you can see, this also does have these sub levels in here. So as we've been building it up kind of little by little, right there's level 20. It does require a significant amount of resources and of course a ton of copies to not only build up the sub level, but every sub level requires 3 actual copies of the beast itself. Since I'm already at level 20, we're going to try to get this one to 21 and ultimately get this beast to 24 for the simple fact that we're already pretty heavily invested in here. Now, unfortunately, and there we go, another copy. When you're going through and doing the beast residence normal, this beast will work the exact same way as regular beasts do, all the way up to 18. And then everything above level 18, you do have to get these additional copies of the beast. When you get those additional copies of the beast, you'll actually be able to build them up. But again, if you're under that certain level, when you resonate to 18, from my understanding, it will give you and it will rebate the copies of the Nightfall Pegasus that you already do have. So that can make a really big difference in being able to build this. So let's finish out this level in the entirety. Boom. And look at this. We get a wish offering. I'm not going to spend my $9.99 in there to get a couple more copies, but that does bring the beast up to 21, unlocking that damage resistance in there. Like I said, ultimately, we do want to get this beast up to 24. And I feel like for me, that is going to be the stopping point, is getting that beast up. So again, we can use a couple more copies in here. Gonna have to wait to see when we get more copies. But overall, like I said, with a lot of players, they are just saving the beast and saving all the resources in general, waiting to see exactly what is coming next down the pipeline. The very similar that we see with like our Highborn Draconic heroes is just kind of saving the resources till you see and have enough resources for really the next and best that we have, and then kind of building there from there. Now you can see that I did use some of my baits in here. Simple fact is we have another 7,500 baits, gained a couple more levels, but overall I don't have a ton that I do with the baits, and I don't lure a lot because most of these are already pretty well built up. And there's really a minimal effect over level 18. You don't get any new skills and abilities. It does give them a little bit more when it comes to your attribute buffs within here. But overall, again, not a huge push, knowing that the Awakened Beasts are already into AFK Arena, and we got to see exactly what are going to be the next beasts that we're seeing awaken. Now, within the shop itself, again, within the store, I'm buying one specific thing and one specific thing only. That was the Arcane Staff. So every single day I'm buying Arcane Staffs. And you'll also notice that I am buying the large Hero Essence chest. Now, to remain competitive within AFK Arena, getting this and buying this every single day for 300 diamonds does make a difference, because when you start looking at martial ratings and a bunch of other game modes, it does make a big difference in being able to purchase these. So purchasing actually both of these, as well as our time emblem, which we're at 435 right now, waiting to see what the next hero is going to be with the Wilder. Now, within the Dream Store, you can see buying pretty much everything that we want out of here. Again, looking at the heroes in the top, not really a reason to get any of them at this point in AFK Arena. Guild Store, again, you can get Hilduin out, which is already sold out. And then you can also get your hero as well as Dimensional Gear if it pops in here at the bottom. The Barracks, I have 2.5 million coins. We have no reason for the Elder Tree at all, which I wish I could just gift them to the free to play account. That would be absolutely epic. But in here, I wanted to pop a couple of these chests and also do a couple summons in here. I know it's been a little bit since we've done some summons. Also, we did build out Gorok, which I'm wondering if we're going to have the ability to build them up a little bit further. 8 stones here. Celestials and Hypos are all that we're looking at. So all of those are just going to be recycled. 6 Superb. Can it be an Awaken? Which it is not just all food in its entirety. Now, again, we were waiting for this to actually reset in here to see if we could finish them out, which we have 19 days for the rest of this. Still trying to figure out and get 2 more copies of him so we can engrave him. Again, starting to see Grok in a couple different places in AFK Arena, so I want to continue building him. And honestly, if we get another copy of him, if we get another 2, I will be pretty happy to see. Maybe even another 1, which unfortunately that is Cirrus. Wish list, these are the only 2 that we have that are not at 5 stars. So again, I know a lot of players said to fill them in. Some players said not to fill in the wish list, that it doesn't really make a big difference. And again, if we summon them or we don't summon them, I'm not really worried about it either way. But there's a double, and there is, again, just some more food we're getting out of here. saving up all these resources. We'll go ahead and do the desired hero summons when we get a chance. But this gives us an option, Celestial to Hypo. It is Nevi. And then it also gives us the ability to get an Awakened hero as well. I do have to remember in another double out of here. Boom, nobody else that we need. The final one doesn't give us anything at all. So again, more to recycle. But what I was saying is within the Rickety card, I have to remember to replace the heroes, guys, to actually get the new Celestial that we do have coming up. Because I have a lot of depot copies, which will actually give me 2 full copies or an Elite Plus copy of the new hero that is coming out. Because we've literally been stockpiling Floras. And as we know, within Autumn Delights, there is another copy of Flora right here. So again, as we just continue to build the hero out in the entirety, just getting more and more copies of the hero itself. Again, more food that we are just recycling every single day to get the hero coins. Not really a big push or driving force in there, but I knew for the weeklies we needed to finish this out. This is huge to get this and be able to actually build out the Awakened Beast or the Fable Beast kind of little by little. Makes a really big difference in there. All right, guys, we're going to continue building out Garok again. That is another focus. Also looking at some of the wilders that we do have in here. We know there is an Awakened Wilder that is coming down the pipeline. Also do have to finish out and build out that Awakened version of Scrath. Actually getting this engraving up to that 60 is where we got to get him. Again, we need a lot more of our elemental cores. Hopefully there's going to be an event to pick up quite a few of those because we do have Scrath to build up. Then we have the new Celestial that's coming, which I'm assuming is going to require a pretty big build when it comes to actually the engraving in there. And then, like I said, right around the corner has to be that Awakened version of the Wilder hero. So it's going to be pretty interesting what the Awakened version of Tassie looks like. Nope, I don't have any insider information. Just wanted to share that. But guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.